Hey,
Uh,
so
so we're learning about miso soup today.
yeah, soup, yeah.
Yes,
I'm a,
sounds good.
I'm a tutor. You're a
Mhm.
student.
Good. Well,
Okay.
I've only learned how to make basic miso soup, so
Oh,
let's see
yeah.
what your recipe is like.
Okay. Yeah, it's a simple. Okay. Troy, I have some question.
Mhm.
Uh, have you ever cook miso soup?
Yes,
Oh, nice.
and
Uh,
I'm subscribed to Japanese Cooking 101. I
oh,
know this recipe.
wow,
uh,
wow,
I remember this
amazing.
video. This is an
Oh,
old video though.
wow. 2 years ago. As
uh,
a tutor,
sorry, go ahead.
so ask me. So please share the how to cook miso soup. Mm.
Mhm.
The,
Okay,
now the just second time for sharing
uh,
tutor. Mm. Let's
perfect.
go.
I remember watching this when I was a teenager. This is how I learned about Japan in the first place. Was Japanese Cooking 101.
Wow, wow. You recall. You can
I
recall
remember the ramen recipe.
a ramen
Uh,
recipe.
I had to get my mom to go to another city because she was
Uh,
going out to so that I could get the special noodles for the
uh,
ramen because they wanted
uh,
angel hair pasta, like
uh,
the very very thin ones.
yeah.
Uh, and it's the same recipe from these people. I think so. I did that when I was in grade 12 or grade 11. So that's got to be 10 years ago.
Wow.
No, longer.
No longer.
Like 12 or 13 years ago, I
Uh,
watched these people make that recipe. So yeah, that was a very fun one. Um,
wow.
but yeah, I
Nice.
look forward to hearing this one. This one looks fun.
Okay. Uh, it's a menu. It's ingredients.
Yeah.
Miso soup is a traditional Japanese soup made with dashi
Mhm.
and miso paste. You can add various ingredients to custom it easily. Mm. Have you ever tried all ingredients?
Uh, yeah.
Mm.
That was like the standard miso soup at the restaurant I worked at. Just
Mm.
tofu, green
Tofu,
onions.
green
That's it.
onion.
Uh,
Mm. Yeah.
so yeah, well, the miso soup with the tofu and onions.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh, and seaweed. A little bit of seaweed.
Mm. Yeah, seafood. Yeah. Nice. Mm. Uh, yes. Next. Well, let's begin. We cut tofu into half-inch cube. We are using soft tofu, but you can please wait.
Soft, medium, or firm.
Yeah, cut the tofu into 1 cm cube. Add them the pot and cut the tofu. So, if using dry wakame, dry
Mhm.
seafood, soak it in water for a few minutes before adding it. Mm. Uh, do you know tofu? Two patterns tofu, like soft or
Yep, soft and firm and medium.
firm. Yeah, yeah, firm.
Uh,
Yeah,
we always had medium tofu,
medium
um,
tofu,
mainly because it was all purpose.
all
Uh,
purpose.
so, like, you could use medium tofu for any purpose you wanted, whether it was agadashi tofu or
Against
if it
tofu. Yeah.
was for soup. Like, you could
Mm,
kind of use both. If you have soft tofu, it doesn't really work too well for agadashi tofu because it just breaks in the deep fryer. Um,
mm,
but it's good for soup. But firm tofu, really good for agadashi tofu, but not so good for soup. So we like the medium in the
yeah.
restaurant.
Mm, yes. You like medium size tofu. Okay. And Troy, have you ever used kitchen knife?
Yep, we call that specific knife is called a chef knife
chef knife.
because it's like the all-purpose knife. Yeah,
うん。
I have like 15 knives
15, wow.
because
You
there's a
are,
lot of special ones you can have.
wow.
But yeah, I do have a lot. I probably don't need that much, but I still have them.
うん。So please here the uh, finger. Don't
Yeah.
don't cut finger.
Yeah, the claw.
うん。
We
う
call it
ん。
the claw. So it
Claw.
looks like a claw, right?
Claw. うん。Yes. Do you like green onion?
Of course.
Yeah. How often do you eat green onion?
Green onion is like a staple flavor for Vietnamese cooking or my wife's Banar cooking. Uh, it's kind of used like salt and pepper, like you put it in everything, or like garlic. It's very similar to like garlic in my wife's cooking. So basically every day I'll have green onions. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Me too. So I often use garnish and green onion with miso soup with green onion and egg and nut on the rice with
Oh, okay.
green onion. It's very yum.
Oh, okay. Fair. Nice.
Thank you. And it's a boiled ingredients, umami ingredients. There are many brands, so try different kinds you found at Japanese market.
Mhm.
Do you know umami ingredients?
Yep. The big ones that we used were kombu
Kombu.
and oh, I can't remember the name. It's the
Yeah, kombu.
bonito flakes, but I
Bonito
forgot the
flakes. Yeah,
Japanese. I forgot the
great.
Japanese name, but it's the bonito
Katsuobushi.
flakes. Yeah, there we go.
Katsuobushi. Yeah,
Katsuobushi.
bonito flakes. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, bonito flakes and kombu were the big ones that we used,
Mm.
or MSG,
MSG.
which
Nice.
is the special salt.
Special salt.
Yeah.
Yeah. 味の素か。Special salt. Yeah.
Exactly. That's the
Yeah.
brand we used.
Nice. Great. And next, so dissolve the miso. Reduce the heat. Place the miso paste in the ladle and slowly mix it with some soup to dissolve it. Once dissolved, return it to the pot and stir well. Yeah. Please, tips, don't boil the miso because it loses its flavor. Yeah. Troy, so when you cook Japanese cuisine, what's care about
So
temperature?
the way it
Boil.
kind of worked was we would make a clear, like a dashi.
Dashi.
But so we had two soups.
Two soups.
Clear soup and
Okay.
Miso soup.
Miso soup.
And the difference is miso, you added miso to the dashi and then added your things afterwards. And then with the clear soup, the difference was the clear soup, you added salt. You just needed a bit more salt in it to be a bit more flavorful. So yeah, we basically just used the bonito flakes, the kombu. We would boil a giant pot, like 50
Yes.
liters, 50 liters or so.
Wow.
And then we would bucket it into buckets that we could put in the fridge. And then whenever we need to make, because like you said, you don't want to be cooking miso soup forever and ever. Like it's okay to keep it warm. Like we would have it in a rice cooker on the warm setting, not the cook setting, because that would be too hot, right? You don't want to overcook the miso. And so then, yeah, we'd have all this dashi in the fridge. Whenever we needed to make miso soup or the clear soup, we would take that out. Uh, Now we were making so much that we would take a whisk, put it into the big thing of miso, and then take it out, and there'd be so much miso on the whisk that you could just whisk that quickly into the soup a lot faster than slowly boiling it in like you see in the picture there.
Yes.
The whisk would dissolve it a lot faster. And we're at a restaurant. Remember, restaurants, they don't make things in perfection. They make things in a quick and closest to perfection as possible, right? The way you see in this show, Japanese 101, that's like the best way you can do it, but it might take you a long time. At a restaurant, we don't have that time. Customers want the food quickly, so we do a little bit of shortcuts here and there to get like 90% good
90%
and
good.
stuff like that. But yeah,
Okay.
it's a lot of fun.
How many people do you often eat for your Japanese cuisine?
You mean at the restaurant or like at home?
Restaurant. Yeah.
So the restaurant was 55 seats.
55. Oh.
Maximum 60. So like if people booked in advance, like a big party, we could organize and set things up for about 60 people. But the thing is, that's a 60 people restaurant, but at the same time, there's takeout as well. So, and we had about an hour and a half turnover. So every hour and a half, we had 60 new people come in. So from 4, when we opened, 4 p.m. till 10, so 6 hours. There was also lunchtime, but for at least dinner time, we would have 60 times 6. So 360 people plus takeout. Now, obviously, it depends on the day. Sometimes it's busy, sometimes it's slow. So you could have anywhere between as slow as 50 people in a day, all the way to like 600 people a day because of takeout and stuff. So it just depends on the day or season.
Your restaurant so famous, so many people enjoy Japanese cuisine.
Yeah, a lot of students mainly.
Thank you. Yeah, final touches. Add green onion and turn off the heat. You can eat right away, but letting it sit for a few minutes help the flavors blend. Tips: custom it with your favorite ingredients. Troy, so if you can arrange a miso soup, what food do you use?
Honestly, miso soup was well. So number one, I like the red miso soup first.
Red miso soup.
I like red miso, and then well, so the thing I didn't really like about miso soup, I like miso soup, but the thing I didn't really like about it is miso soup is very powerful. So you really taste miso, and so it's really hard to add those extra things. That's why like tofu goes really well, is because tofu is not a strong flavor. So I always found it hard to add things to miso soup. So normally, yeah, green onions and tofu was my basic one. I tried to add a few other things before, but it always felt like either it didn't change the miso soup or changed it in a bad way. And then I was like, oh, okay, never mind. So eventually I just settled for the basic one, tofu and green onions. Maybe that's seaweed, like I mentioned earlier, but that's about it.
My mom cooker style is Japanese radish. daikon.
Yeah,
It's
the white
it's named
radish.
daikon. And seafood. Yeah. For example, potato, onions, clams, spinach, and so on.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't think I've tried that. Maybe I'll try that next time. Adding some seafood like
Uh,
clams.
mm.
Maybe that'd
Thank
be
you.
good.
That type of dashi changes the taste. Kombu dashi is mild, while bonito dashi is more flavorful.
Always
That's all.
bonito. That's always what I did.
Okay. Please change the. I'll change the. So I want to ask you several questions. What's your favorite Japanese dish?
um, I don't know if this is the correct name, but it was sakakame ageni.
Hmm.
Salmon
Salmon.
neck, salmon
Salmon
neck
neck.
ageni, like the nasu ageni,
Nasageni.
eggplant.
Eggplant.
So you deep fry the
Deep fry.
salmon neck,
Oh.
and then you have like a little bit of teriyaki sauce mixed with um, tempura sauce,
Tempura sauce.
mixed with a little bit of uh, daikon, radish, and ginger mixed in there. And then you pour that liquid onto the deep fried salmon neck. It was really good. I don't know if that's very popular, and I know salmon is not necessarily a Japanese special thing. But we also did this with hamachi. I just prefer the salmon version rather than
Salmon and hamachi. You try
yeah.
to. Wow, nice.
But those are my two favorite. I really like hamachi actually as well. Like either cooked or the sushi or sashimi. Hamachi was one of my favorites, but yeah.
Fried salmon is popular in Japan.
Well, again, this was a special one though because it was the neck, so it's very, very fatty.
Very, very fat.
And there's a lot of bones, so you got to be a bit careful as well. But it's yeah, it's a unique one at least. And again, my favorite cooking is generally unique.
Nice.
If I was to go by flavor, gyoza is my favorite. Easy. Gyoza is amazing, and especially with like a sour sauce with it. Yeah, it's great. Like even if you had like a ponzu sauce with gyoza, I know that might not mix perfectly, but I still like it.
Wow.
But like I said, I prefer the more unique thing, and I think this salmon neck one was pretty cool.
Nice. Thank you for sharing. Wow. Okay. Next, so what do you think about Japanese seasoning and flavors? Umami or bonito.
Well, Japan relies, I feel, too much on salt and umami.
Yeah, on salt.
That's
I think
about
so.
it. Japan doesn't really like to focus on fat or focus on sugar or sour. They do sometimes with a little bit of bitterness, like for example, like a tea, like green tea and stuff. But generally, like that, like a lot of the focus is on salt, which is fine. But eventually, it does get boring if that's all you eat. Especially growing up in Canada, with everything around, you can try every unique or weird or whatever kind of thing you want to say for flavors. You can try that in Canada. So for me to only stay at one thing feels a bit tough. But yeah, it was generally speaking, I would say that yeah, it's a good one. But the other way I would describe it is simple but perfection. The other thing that happens in Japanese food is they don't process a lot. They try to bring out the normal flavors of the dish or the ingredients you're using. Like a great sushi is the best example of this. It's rice, vinegar, and fish. That's
Mm.
it. But it's got to
Mm.
be the perfect amount of vinegar, the perfect amount of rice, the perfect
Mm.
amount of fish. And if anything is out of balance, it's not the best, right?
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah.
so those are the two things I kind of noticed with Japanese food: simple perfection, and
Mm.
maybe a heavy reliance on salt and umami, because there's a lot of shiitake, a lot of bonito flakes, a lot of kombu. So
Mm.
they
Mm.
do that as well, but it's just
Mm.
2 out of the 5 flavors, right?
Mm.
Or
High
6
flavor. Yeah.
flavors. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah. So another question. Troy, I'd like to ask you a few questions. So your experience as a chef. When you are working in the kitchen, did you ever find it difficult to cook meals that followed certain religious or culture rules like halal or vegan food?
No,
No.
uh, because
Mm.
the person who owns the Japanese restaurant
Mm.
now,
Ah.
because my old boss
Mm.
retired, he's like in his 70s now, so he doesn't
Ah. Mm.
work at the Japanese restaurant anymore.
Mm.
Uh, he gave it away to one of his longtime employees. Well, I say give it away. They bought it, and he was Afghani from
Mm.
Afghanistan.
Afghani.
Uh,
Yeah.
so he's Muslim. So I
Mm.
had to deal with halal food all the time
Mm.
because I was the second chef there by the end of my time at the Japanese restaurant.
Oh.
And as the role of the second chef, at the
Mm.
end of the day, I had to cook a meal for every person in the, uh, uh, as all the chefs. So
Mm.
I had to either make something like pork
Mm.
or, which would not be very good for
Mm.
halal, but
Mm.
like I would have to make a whole bunch of stuff for that. And
Mm.
oftentimes I had to make
Mm.
2 different kinds of food. I had to make
Mm. Mm.
everyone's normal food and then his food.
Mm.
Uh, and so, yeah, I learned how to work with halal. Oftentimes, he would also make his own food, and he would show me how he makes it himself, so that if I ever had to make it, I wouldn't make a mistake. Um, and then for vegan food, they're the worst. Honestly,
Mm.
I
Mm.
I would way rather work
Nice.
to make halal food or even vegetarian food, because at least
Vegetarian
with
food.
vegetarian food, there is some
Mm.
vegetarian options on the menu, and I could
Mm.
just suggest those
Mm.
ones.
Mm.
But vegans are the worst because they can't have honey, they can't
Mm.
have milk,
Mm.
cheese,
Mm.
any or animal
Mm.
product, right?
Mm.
So sometimes there's like another big one of this is
Mm.
gelatin. People don't think
Gelatin.
of gelatin, but
Gelatin.
gelatin comes from bones,
Bones.
often pig bones. So it's also a
Mm.
problem for halal
Mm.
people as well. But
Oh, wow.
and the thing with halal is if you don't know if it's coming from a pig or if it's coming from a horse, like
Mm.
gluten comes from animal bones, period. Whether it's a
Mm.
horse, pig, or cow, doesn't matter. But
Mm.
if you don't know, you can't serve it, right? Uh, so generally speaking, halal was fine, but vegans, that was a
Mm.
tough one.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Wow. So, I remember in the conversation with another tutor, she mentioned her experience with practicing veganism. She also mentioned that French cuisine often includes a lot of cheese and meat. So you said, which makes it difficult to prepare vegan dishes. What are your thoughts on that?
uh, here's the reason why I don't necessarily like vegan people.
Mm,
I shouldn't say that because I don't hate them.
mm,
I just
mm,
the issue that I found, especially in North America, I don't know if this
mm,
is true in other parts of the world,
mm,
but vegan people want to have their food that they grew up with, but in a
mm,
vegan way.
vegan
And
way.
there's an amazing vegan food that is already vegan.
Mm,
A great example of this could be agadashi tofu
mm,
without bonito flakes because you put
Mm,
bonito flakes, or you could just take that off. Agatashi tofu would be amazing for that. Or nasuyogeni would be another example. But there's a lot of amazing vegan foods that are delicious that you can make without changing the recipe.
Ah.
So I really
Mm.
dislike people who try to make vegan turkey
Mm.
dinner or something
Mm.
like that, or try
Mm.
to make a like an Alfredo sauce
Mm.
without milk. Like it's not meant to be like that. And there's so many other things. Like this goes with gluten as well. There's amazing things that are already gluten free. And when you take gluten out, like gluten has a special thing, and cheese and meat have a special purpose in these dishes. When you take that out, it's not the same dish anymore, and it's kind of not the same. A great one for the gluten side of things would be like coconut macaroons or macaroons in general. They're amazing. And then for vegans, like a Canadian dish, well, here's the best one for vegans: French fries. French fries are vegan. Like have French fries. French fries are nice. Or and here's the other thing: people think, for example, like, oh, I'm vegan, I must eat salad. Well, salads can be delicious if you make them properly. In North America, and this is why I mentioned North America in the beginning, salad is lettuce, maybe tomatoes. Like that's it. It's very basic, very boring. Now in Vietnam, they have banana heart salad. Banana heart is the flour of the banana, and they shave it. It's very thin and it's stringy, crunchy, and then they mix that with unripe mango. So it's a bit more sour. Then they add maybe papaya, mint, spicy sauce. Like that's a really interesting peanuts. Like it's very interesting, and so why not try that, right? So that's my only issue with vegans is they seem to try to make a meat product or a dairy product, and then it's just not the same. And then they get mad that it doesn't taste good, and it's like, well, it's not meat. This is for a meat, right? Like for example, I know a lot of vegans try to make like steak or like fake chicken out of cauliflower. They'll like bread cauliflower and make like fried vegan chicken with all the spices, but it's still cauliflower, right? So I feel like people should just try new things, right? There's other cultures that you can try better food with. Don't try the French food if they have too much meat in dairy. Try some Vietnamese food. Why not?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you for sharing.
Sorry, a little passionate on that one.
So last 2 minutes. So next lesson. So last lesson you provide pronunciation correction, particularly on vowel sounds, the end of words, and explain common mistake Japanese learner make. Trip.
R, L, and D are the big
R
ones.
and D. Next lesson, so we try this things.
Okay, so we're practicing more of phonics.
Phonics, yeah. Okay. Last 1 minute, so it's closing this lesson. Thank you for sharing. So your experience, great experience as a cook. So when you are beginner chef, you worked, so you learned Japanese one on one.
101. Yeah.
101. So
before I was a chef, actually, I
before
was
chef.
like 16. I was still a dishwasher at that point. So, I was making salads by that point. But yeah, my very first Japanese food I ever made was ramen. And I don't know if I did it very well, but I tried. I tried.
Okay, and you also French cuisine and vegan inspiration. Okay, thank you for sharing. I'll see you next. See you
Have a
next
great
lesson.
weekend. Bye.